That part of the community is dead, I think. And that kind of sucks. Then it will not appear on Amazon Prime until... So Dallas Jenkins just finished a live stream talking about a lot of different things, from the Chosen Adventures to their Times Square kind of takeover that they did, and most importantly, their new streaming partner for The Chosen. And not just The Chosen's future projects, like I was thinking that it might be, but actually for The Chosen Season 5, like right now. It has a brand new streaming partner, and it's not exclusively on the Chosen app or some of these other places that we've seen it before. Now, we actually guessed this ahead of time. We talked about who the streaming partner was going to be, and that is Amazon MGM Studios Prime Video, okay? So Prime Video, Amazon Prime. Most of you guys have Amazon Prime. If you get free shipping from Amazon Prime and you're all set up for that, most of you probably pay for it yearly. It's like $150 or something yearly. And then you get not only Amazon Prime, but you also get Amazon Video. So that's one aspect of this. We're going to talk about the good, we're going to talk about the iffy, we're going to talk about the bad, and we're going to go through all of it here in just a bit. I was literally just texting Dallas Jenkins to clarify some things from the stream because I didn't 100% fully understand. So basically what Dallas told us is over the last year, probably more than a year, probably a couple of years, but really the last year, seriously, him and Amanda have been praying and seeking out somebody to partner with on the streaming side of things. There's a lot of reasons for this, but let me show you the announcement that he says right here.
And so I want to let you know, this is the headline. After exploring multiple options and taking a long time to explore every option and to think through this and to pray on this, we have decided on Prime Video. Yes, Amazon Prime Video, Amazon MGM Studios, as the exclusive third-party home of our current show, the exclusive third-party home of Bear Grylls. They also want to help us bring the rest of the Bible universe to life. Right now, we're in serious discussions about Joseph. It's not finalized yet, but the Joseph miniseries very well could end up being an Amazon original.
Okay, so that's the big headline, okay, is number one, The Chosen will be an Amazon Prime show now. Secondarily, the Chosen in the Wild, the Bear Grylls show, is going to be on Amazon Prime. Makes a lot of sense, okay? Thirdly, the Joseph series, which is a one-season show, is most likely going to be on Amazon Prime as well. He didn't mention the rest of the projects here. He didn't mention the future projects that are kind of a few years away, which makes sense. You don't want to lock that down quite yet unless everything goes great for the next few years. Same thing with the Chosen Adventures. He did not lock down where this is going to be shown either. He talked about that later in the stream. But let us go forward and talk about some different things. There are things that I have answers for. There are things that I do not have answers for and that I have big questions about. Hopefully we can get those answered in the future. I'm really trying to interview Dallas before the release of season 5. I would love to be able to go over to Texas or wherever and be able to interview him in person and have a really good sit-down interview. So you guys can help me to make that happen. If this video gets a lot of views, if our channel starts doing a lot of great stuff, he'll be more inclined to do so that'll be great. All right, so I have a ton of notes. I took like 3 pages of notes, okay? I took up a bunch of notes from this live stream. So we're going to go through and talk about the good things first, okay? Dallas kind of talked about why this is beneficial for them, and then he kind of brought in the hard news a little bit later on. So let's start with the good stuff as well. Number one, he talked about how it legitimizes the show. So having the show on every platform and free on the Chosen app is great, right? But it costs a lot of money from the studios and from the Chosen and everybody else to be able to do that and spread it very, very far, right? And it also makes it so the show feels a little bit cheap. So I understand why he's doing that. Putting it on one exclusive platform, if you say this is an Amazon Prime show and you cannot get it anywhere else, it makes it feel as if that show is more valuable. It makes it feel as if that show is more exclusive, and as if it's more premium, right? Which makes a lot of sense. You want the Chosen to feel that way. You don't want the Chosen to feel as if it's not valuable, right? But that kind of fights itself a little bit, right? Because you also want to get over 1 billion views, and you want to get several billion views, and you want to have everybody on the earth watch this show, right? So it's a hard balance there between having Amazon be the one place where it is, which legitimizes the show, and then also wanting it to be seen by everybody on earth, right? There's a clash that kind of is happening there. Secondarily, why he said it was important is, of course, the resources that come to it. the resources that Amazon is going to put into place for buying that exclusivity of the show is going to be a lot of money. Obviously, he's not going to tell us how much money that is, but it's going to be a lot of money. Millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? When Angel Studios left, whenever they broke up with Angel Studios, right? And we saw that happen with The Chosen. Angel Studios reported that they received somewhere in the realm of $200 million for The Chosen seasons 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's a lot of money, right? Amazon is going to have to put up a bunch of money in order to push into The Chosen. I don't know how much that money is. I don't know what that looks like, but clearly this is a big deal. This is not a small yeah, Amazon's helping us out of the good of their hearts, right? This is a big, serious television deal, okay? So we have to keep that in mind for sure. That's number 2. So number 1, legitimizes the show. Number 2, gives them resources to make the show and to make other projects more specifically. He was very clear on that. He still wants us to donate and to work through Come and See in order to donate for The Chosen and to help to fund season 6 and season 7, which will be the end of The Chosen. Then we'll see the rest of these shows come in a little bit later on. So he really wants us to keep on donating and have the Amazon stuff to work on these other projects that are coming along. So that's what he said there. The third thing that he said in the first kind of section here is that it gives stability for 5 and 2. So if you can imagine, it's kind of all on Dallas's shoulders to raise support and donations for The Chosen itself. So as we've seen over the last 4 years, we've really seen Dallas be the one that's on every single live stream, pushing for every single moment to get donations and get people to invest in Come and See and have a really great moment here, right? So that people will donate and continue to fund this show. Having a partner like Amazon helps it so that it's not all on his shoulders anymore, at least for all of these other shows, right? So that it's not all in the donations. It's not all in Come and See's hands in order to do these things, because Come and See doesn't bring in enough money to do all the shows that they want to do over the next 10 years, like they told us at ChosenCon, right? So there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline that they're going to need help to produce, and Amazon is going to help with that overall. Now, let's get deeper into this. Let's talk about Amazon itself, okay? So Amazon will be the exclusive third-party home for The Chosen. So what does that mean? It means that The Chosen will no longer be on Roku and Netflix and X.com and wherever else it is, right? Right now, it's kind of all over the place. Some places you have to pay for to get in, like Netflix, but other places you don't, like the Chosen app, right? So does that mean that The Chosen Season 5 and beyond, or even the previous seasons, are going to be gone from all of those apps? Yes, except for the Chosen app. The Chosen app has a clause, let's say, within this agreement that they are going to leave the Chosen app and allow the Chosen to be free on the app with some heavy asterisks, okay, which we're going to get to in a second. Now, why is Amazon the choice? Why is Amazon good? Dallas kind of went into this next. One thing that I will say, by the way, as I'm kind of talking through this was the most nervous I think I've ever seen Dallas in a live stream. The way that he kept on stumbling over his words, and he has these certain tics of him breathing or swallowing in certain ways. He seemed extremely nervous, and maybe that was excitement, he's excited about announcing this project, or maybe it's an anxiety and a nervousness about partnering with someone like this in another way. I don't know. I really don't know, but he did seem really, really nervous, and I saw a lot of people in chat seeing that as well. All right, so why Amazon Prime Video? Why partner with Amazon? Number 1, most people have Prime Video. I would agree with this. I think the majority of the Chosen audience shops on Amazon Prime. You guys get packages to your door every single day. I know it. I know it. You guys are just like my wife. You're ordering stuff all the time. You get the free shipping. You get the 2-day delivery. You're getting that all the time. I know you do. The majority of you have Prime already, right? If you have Amazon Prime, I believe for most regions, I don't think this is for everybody, but I think for most regions, you also get Prime Video for free on top of that. So you're already paying for it with your Amazon Prime subscription. You don't need another subscription, okay? So that's a pretty good deal. We have Amazon Prime. We've had it for many, many, many years. We're probably not getting rid of it, right? Which means we'll have The Chosen for free whenever it comes out on the next seasons and so forth, right? Makes it pretty good. Number 2, their marketing is way heavier of a hitter than The Chosen's marketing alone. Now, The Chosen has some pretty amazing marketing. There's only been a couple of times their marketing has fallen flat. For the most part, The Chosen's marketing has been incredible over the last 4 years. Clearly, we've seen that because the show has grown so big, right? But Amazon MGM Studios is going to have a much bigger marketing arm. They're going to have way more budget to put behind marketing, and it's going to be way better for them to throw out this show and to be able to push it to people, right? We're seeing this with House of David, a brand new IP that has no traction whatsoever, had barely any articles written about it, and within the first week, it has like 1 million views on several different channels because of Amazon, right? That's just on YouTube. Not talking about the different articles and different things that are being posted about it now. So House of David, because it's connected to Amazon Prime, already has legitimacy. It's one of the many reasons why I'm focused on that show, because Amazon Prime is connected to it. So yeah, that makes sense as well. Number 3, he says, they help with other projects while the Come and See focuses on the main show. So we already talked about that. And then also the 4th thing is they have way better connections to Amazon, MGM, and theaters and things like that, right? So when they go to theatrical releases, there's going to be a way better connection point to the theaters and to releases than they have currently. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense there. Yeah, I can see that as well. Obviously, Jeff Bezos and the whole crew that's over at Amazon are going to have way better connections. I mean, they have connections to the president. Of course, they're going to have connections to theaters, right? And that means all across the nation, they're going to have way better connections for theatrical releases and different things like that they want to do. This includes things like books. This includes things like DVDs. This includes things like anything you want to sell on Amazon, right? Clearly, you're going to have better connections for all that kind of stuff there. While they're working with the creative and television department, of course, they have connections to all these other Amazon things as well, which could definitely help The Chosen over time. So that's kind of the good stuff, okay? Without getting into any of the I don't know stuff or the stuff, that's the good stuff, okay? The Chosen gets a lot more resources to do season 6 and 7 and these other shows that they're working on behind the scenes. Also, they get a great partner that legitimizes them and makes them a mainstream show. Now, let's get to the I'm not so sure or I don't have an answer for this stuff, okay? And then we'll get to release dates and all that kind of stuff in a second, okay? So, the I'm not so sure stuff. What happens to Lionsgate? Is Lionsgate no longer a distribution partner, or did Lionsgate help with this deal in order to get into Amazon and they're still going to distribute it through Amazon? I don't think that's how that works, right? Like, I would assume that they're going to let go Lionsgate and now go to Amazon. That would be my guess there. I don't have an answer to that, though. But obviously, that would be a pretty big shift. Number 2, what does this mean for international audiences? Because Amazon Prime does not show the same shows everywhere in the world. So does this mean that there are going to be some countries that without a VPN or without, making their signal seem like it's coming from the US or somewhere else, does that mean that they won't have access to these things? I would love a list of countries that are going to be able to see The Chosen, because there may be countries like your country that is left out of that, which would really be not fun. If you're really looking forward to seeing this on Amazon Prime, and then it turns out that The Chosen doesn't exist in your region, that would kind of stink. That would be a question I have there for sure. Those are my main 2, okay, well, what's kind of going on? A third thing is we do not have an exact date for the release of streaming, okay? And let me clarify here in a second, because I was just texting with Dallas to clarify this because I needed to make sure. So, alrighty, so let's talk about release dates, and then we'll talk about kind of the stuff I'm apprehensive about when it comes to Amazon and all this kind of stuff. All right, so what Dallas is saying here is, because I was asking him, when exactly is this gonna drop? Because you didn't give us an exact date for when it's going to go on Amazon, which means we don't have an exact date for when it's going to basically come to the public, right? So we have the theatrical release date, so let's start there. The theatrical release is going to be March 28th. I believe it actually starts on March 27th. There's like a preview on March 27th, then March 28th, then April 4th and April 11th. And then that's going to go through Easter weekend. Okay. So that's when you can watch all of season 5. And on Easter weekend and on Palm Sunday in specific areas, you can watch the entire season in one sitting. Okay. They're going to have special viewings in some theaters where you can watch the entire thing. You can sit at the theater for like 8 hours plus to watch the entire thing if you really want to do that. Okay, now, I asked Dallas specifically when it was going to come to Amazon, and he says it's going to come to Amazon in mid-June, most likely is the latest, okay? So June. So June is when it's going to come to Amazon. Now, let's talk about exclusivity with Amazon. Exclusivity with Amazon means that Amazon does not allow this show to be anywhere else, and that includes the Chosen app. Normally with any other show, what they would do is they would, essentially what they would do is they would block it from being on any other app, any other platform, any other website, okay? However, in this case, they want to work with The Chosen because they understand that a large portion of their fan base really enjoys that it's free and that they can share it with their friends and family through The Chosen app. So they are going to allow it to be on The Chosen app 90 days after it is exclusive on Amazon. Okay? So let me read this text one more time, make sure I'm not getting anything wrong. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this video and you want to see all of my Chosen Season 5 content and all the other shows that we're going to be talking about this year, I would love for you to join my community over on snipesupport.com. This is my Patreon where you can donate $5, $10, $15 a month in order to help me to continue making videos just like this. We've got a ton of extra content over there, including full live streams. After I was done with this video, I talked for another 45 minutes on just answering questions and talking about this whole situation over to make sure that everybody was clear. There's a lot of extra good stuff in there, so you're going to want to see all that. If you want the extras, go over to snipesupport.com, and even the $5 tier will get all of those extra videos. So anyway, we'd love to see you over there. Let's continue on with the video. Okay, yes. So just to be clear, Season 5 of The Chosen will go into theaters, be done through Easter, then it will not appear on Amazon Prime until June or mid-June at the latest, okay? So that is when we can assume it's going to be on Amazon Prime. Then, 90 days after it is on Amazon Prime, then it will be free in the Chosen app, which means 3 months after June. So let me pull this up real fast so you guys can see like a calendar, okay? So we're looking at April, we get to June, then you're looking at July, August, September for the free release on the app for Season 5. Like I said, this is where the comes in, right? This is really hard for some people. If you can't afford Prime or if you can't get to the theater, that is a long time from season to season. Yeah, that's a long time. I understand why they're doing it, okay? I understand why they're going exclusive with Amazon. I understand why they want that stability. I understand why they want that partnership. I think it's great. I think in so many ways it's great. But it's also really hard for those that can't afford, right? Those that can't afford Amazon Prime or can't afford to go to the theater. So I feel for those people. And I know that that's probably not 50%. It's probably not 40%. It's probably not even 20% of the Chosen audience. I think most people could afford 1 month of Amazon. In fact, in my description right now, you can get a free 30-day trial of Amazon Video if you want to get that. So there are free ways that you could watch it right when it comes out on Amazon if you use that link down there, or it's pinned in the stream if you're here right now. So there are ways that you could watch it. There are things that you could do there. It just it's just hard when and I'll explain why in a second. It's really hard when I see people in my community that are taking it really difficultly, right? And it's like, I understand it's just a show. I understand it's a show. I understand we shouldn't have an expectation of it being free, except for that he's told us that it's always going to be free, or it will be free at some point, right? Which he's still keeping that promise. He's not breaking that promise, right? Which is great. I love that. I was really worried that it would come to an exclusivity deal where it would not be free for like a year, and that would be horrible. 90 days is not too bad, but 90 days after June is pretty long. I mean, that's a long time. That's 6 months after the theatrical release. So here's where my heart hurts on this. And it's less about like, oh, it's free or it's paid. I have access or I don't. The part that's sad to me is, that I can feel the Chosen community dying. And I don't mean that like the number of people that watch The Chosen or are interested in The Chosen are less. What I mean by this is, remember in season 2, whenever they released an episode on YouTube and all of us got to watch it right then, and we all got to chat together, and we had this experience of watching the show with bated breath, right? It was like we were so excited to be there and be a part of this community. We felt like we were building something together, right? That part of the community is dead, I think. And that kind of sucks. like for me personally, someone who's like a true fan of the show, right? And has been following the show for a long time. And this is not me like being mad at the shows. I 100% understand. This is not me like being mad at Dallas or anybody else. Like I 100% understand. But the fact is that the Chosen community now is changed forever. It is completely changed. And not just because Amazon's involved, right? But I think fundamentally it comes from this chasm now that is between those that have access and those that don't, right? There's a chasm, and there's an extreme chasm now of community engagement when it comes to the release of The Chosen. So this first happened with the theatrical releases, which I was very vocal about from the very beginning with theatrical releases. It's not my favorite thing. I understand why they do it. I understand why they need the money. I totally am supportive of it. Do it. I think it's great. But it ruins the community aspect of the show, right? Because it separates the haves from the have-nots in the component of going to the theater versus waiting 3 months to watch it on the app, right? Now that chasm is even wider, right? Like, because what's going to happen now that there's a 6-month difference between those that have seen it in theaters and those that are watching it for free, because there's a 6-month chasm there, the people who watch it in the theaters will never interact with the people that are watching it for free. It just won't happen. So these people are going to be a completely different Chosen audience than these people. And it's going to create 2 different communities that are the people that can afford to watch it and the people that can't, or the people that can go to a theater or the people that can't. And so it's going to really separate the Chosen community overall, which is really sad to me, you know, as someone who this is my job, right? And maybe that's where I have to kind of step up in this community too, is to give more of a voice to everybody in the community here. This is why I love not being connected to the Chosen Incorporated or 5 and 2 Studios, right? Because I'm on the outside, right? Which means I'm on the outside. I'm looking at the same things that you guys are looking at. I'm watching the same show that you guys are watching. I'm just deep diving into it and having a great experience here on the channel. But with all these changes, with partnering with Amazon, with the theatrical releases, with these huge disparate release dates, maybe this channel is more important than ever for the Chosen community. Maybe this channel needs to be the hub where people will come and we talk about these things. So if there's not going to be a YouTube premiere anymore, I don't know if there is. It's going to be 6 months late if there is one, right? Like, that's so crazy. If there's not going to be a YouTube premiere anymore, or if there's not going to be chatting whenever something new releases, this will be the home for that. I'm going to go to the theater, of course. I'm going to watch the show. I'm going to give you my overviews. Of course, when it comes on Amazon, I will do my best to do my deep dives. But guess what? Now that it's on Amazon, it's going to make my job 100 times harder. Because Amazon will, in a second, strike my channel with copyright. Because I've had issues with them before. So it's going to make my job a whole heck of a lot harder when I deal with my deep dives, right? I'm going to have to be very, very careful what I show of the Chosen itself. And there's going to have to be some different things that I change, basically, when it comes to that, or I risk all of my videos, losing all of their monetization, which would be not good, right? So, yeah, that's hard. That's hard. So again, to recap, The Chosen is now exclusively with Amazon Prime. They are going to release it on Amazon Prime by the mid-June, okay? Then 90 days after mid-June is when we are going to receive The Chosen Season 5 in the app for free. So that is the timeline. Let me know your thoughts. Don't be too negative. I know that some of you are going to immediately want to crash and burn. Don't do that. It's okay. Things are just changing, and it's okay. The one thing that I think Dallas said that is going to be really amazing is that he said that he's never going to give up creative control. So he is the one that's in the seat at the end of the day. He is the one that's making these decisions at the end of the day. And while they're working with Amazon on particular aspects and obviously distribution and different things like that, he is the one with the final say on everything when it comes to The Chosen, and he wouldn't have done the deal if it was any other way other than that. Now, he's kind of been hinting at this since ChosenCon, and I can say that I trust Dallas. I'll say that. Do I trust Amazon 100%? No, no, not at all. They, at the end of the day, are a business, and they will try to make the most money, period. That is their job, right? And we met a couple of them on the live stream. I think they're great people, very nice, very kind. I think Dallas probably wouldn't work with someone that wasn't. Doesn't mean that I 100% trust them, right? So we'll see. We will see how it goes. I think at the end of the day, The Chosen will be more successful than ever before, and I think Amazon will be a part of that. I think at the end of the day, The Chosen will bring in more money than ever before, and I think Amazon will be a part of that. I think at the end of the day, The Chosen will still be the best piece of Christian media that I've ever seen in my lifetime, and I don't think Amazon's going to be a part of that. I think it'll just be because it is. And I think because of the support that Amazon brings, maybe it enables Dallas to finish out the series and do a great job with it, and then build the biblical cinematic universe beyond that into the Moses show and the Joseph show and the Acts show and the Noah series and the Ruth movie and all this other stuff that's coming past this. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below, as I know that you will, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.